live rig is the FA-08 and the FA-06, both Roland boards. So I use that as a double tier, and then I also have the Jupiter 80, and then I obviously have the Accent Guitar that I absolutely love. The FA series is great because I can basically make any sound within the board. So I don't have to use MainStage, I don't have to use a computer. It's all there, all the live sets are there, and I go into program mode in my studio, and then I can just do everything without having to go through like Logic or anything like that. I explored different keyboards. I explored like a bunch of chord boards. I had a microchord for a minute, and I've tried the Kronos and everything, but I just have the Roland workstations. For some reason, it just feels kind of like second nature, like when I'm programming it. And I played a Phantom. That was my first keyboard, or my first keyboard that I had was a Phantom G8. And so learning how to program on the Phantom, that same kind of programming works within the FA series too. So I can kind of transfer my knowledge over from the Phantom, which is something I used for years, into the FAs. I feel like every board has its own personality, and then kind of being able to use it for what it is, I think is really important, because, you know, when you use MainStage and you use all that other stuff, I feel just like, you know, you could just use a MIDI controller. If you're gonna use boards that do a specific thing, it's kind of good to use that board for that thing that it does. You know, and with the Phantom, and actually with the FA series, you can layer it 16 times, right? Which means you can split it 16 times. So a lot of times what I do with the sounds is that I either stack them or I split them, and then I have them all on where I can mute everything. So I can actually have even an entire set. I do it song by song, where I can have all the sounds that I need right there, and I can just turn them on, mute it right there, so I don't have to worry about going to a computer. I just like that feeling a lot better. I come from a classical background, so I'm used to just being able to everything being there. The great thing about the FA series is that you can EQ, throw reverb on there, change like the room that you're using, just with the knobs that are right there. You don't actually have to go into the bank of the actual sound. Every song that is in the show, I have a separate live set for. And a live set is basically, it shows every sound that you're using. So it has like, you know, you can actually physically see all 16 kind of sounds, where they're split on the board, and then you can just go to a different live set and it's like a whole new sound, right? So I have it like labeled. Like, for example, in the Selena show, it will say like Same Old Love, and it will have like all the sounds that I use in that song. I turn the dial, it's Come and Get It, every single sound I used in that one. And so that makes it really easy for me, because on stage I can just be like, whoop, and then the whole thing is right there. And then I'm really picky with like where everything's split, so I can move in between, because also like performing is really important to me. I don't like just to sit, you know, so I like to actually like be animated on stage. So I make sure I program my board where I can do that without feeling like constricted. So I feel like that's a really important part of the show too, because I'm not just sitting in the studio recording stuff, I'm on stage. I want to be able to give that energy to feed off of the artist and vice versa. That's our job. Our job is to make the show exciting, and our job is to make the artist perform better. Like, that's why we're there. So I think bringing back those synthesizers and actually doing it where you're playing it live instead of pressing a space bar, I don't think that's going to really go anywhere, because the more technology that starts coming up, the more people are going to use it. And there's all these different companies that are coming out with just new stuff all the time, and I think it's only going to get better. I think the sounds are going to get better, and I think once pop music starts to kind of grasp where the sounds go instead of putting it all at one time, then it's going to start making a lot more sense. I think the music industry is kind of starting to figure out how to use it, and some people have. It's getting better.